brought to you by New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity. Hi, this is the most amazing collection I have read so far. I'm a reading-aholic. Dustin Pickering, you know me from Parrot Literary Corner. This is the Literary Parrot, available at Amazon.com and its various affiliates. If you have not seen this collection, it's 249 pages of glorious global literature in a contemporary vein. This covers a lot of subjects from the coronavirus to violence on the streets, to love, to romance. Everything you can imagine is in this collection, and you should buy it now. I'll tell you why. It's a collection of unique voices from the Literary Parrot. People have been on our show, have been participated in this, or have been published on our website, newyorkparrot.com. So please, I implore you, buy a copy. Thank you, and we.
Keep watching the New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Hi, welcome to New York Parrot TV, and I am Dustin Pickering, your noble and honest host. Today we have Naheed Akhtar, an Indian intellectual having a strong foundation in philosophy of life, explored her interest in the literature and social sciences. She's a lecturer of English literature and lives in Hyderabad in the southern part of India. As a noted author, she has been well acclaimed by the readers at large, mainly because of her magnetic poems covering all genres of poetry. She is known for her love for nature with her fine imagination of being a wanderer, a lost who longs and lingers for the unseen and remote for her own reasons. Further, she has two poetry collections, Phantasms of My Heart and The Earth's Love, to her credit. Feathers of many government and institutional literary awards color her crown, and she can be reached at Naheed Akhtar 123119 at gmail.com. Thanks for joining us today, Naheed. How are you doing?
I'm good, but excellent. Dustin, I'm not able to hear your voice clearly. There is a lot of disturbance.
Oh, very sorry to hear that. Hopefully we'll be able to do the interview pretty well, and I think it's maybe a speaker issue or a sound quality issue we're having. But to our viewers right now, remember that we're doing this live, and you can leave comments and questions for us as we do the interview. And so to continue on further with questions for you, Naheed, what themes do you explore and your books, Phantasms of My Heart and The Earth's Love. And where did you come up with these titles?
The poem Phantasms of My Heart is mainly about love poetry.
Mm-hmm.
And why I have chosen the name Phantasms is because all the poetry in this book rounds around the fantasies. The poet
Mm-hmm.
roams on the mountains and valleys with the beloved in search and longing and all. So it is all about the fancy the poet makes.
Mm-hmm.
That is why the word phantasms uh, attracted me. And in Earth's Love, there is a poem, the Earth's Love. So I thought it would be suitable according to the theme in the book,
Mm-hmm.
according to the poems I have written, according to the collection I have chosen for that particular book. So that's the reason I have kept that name, The Earth's Love.
Very interesting. So, do you write a lot of love poetry, or is that just a central theme, or do you have other themes you also write about?
Yeah, I write other poems as well. I write on the themes of violence and the things happen with the like rapes and all on the social issues. I write poems on the issues either, but mostly I write love poetry. I consider myself like I'm a love poet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what do you when you write your poetry? What are you trying to communicate, and what values do you hold yourself that are communicated in your work?
As far as my love poetry is concerned, I talk my feelings, my fancies, my emotions. I feel myself a kind of a beloved who roams, who wanders in the farthest places, and the poet, the beloved, is in search of something that is very much remote and it is not reachable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can say about my love poetry. And other poems like social issues, whatever happens in the society, like hot issues,
Mm-hmm.
contemporary issues, I can say. If some issue in the society attracts me or pains me, I just write. For example, uh, very brutal rapes and all go on in the society. So I write on those topics and themes.
Mm-hmm. So you combine, you have your love poetry, and you're seeking like the unattainable, sort of a mystical, bent to your work, as well as writing on important social issues to raise awareness to the some of the problems that we, and to discuss things that are sort of, not really considered discussable topics, I guess, in the media or society at large, if I understand you correctly. Can you hear me?
No, I cannot hear you.
Hmm. I wonder what the issue is. There must be some sort of network problem going on the internet at large. Because I don't know if it's my computer or if it's a network problem. Because the producer was having trouble hearing me early as well. Um, so I don't know if I can be heard or if I'm just talking and moving for the camera. Can you hear me now, or are you having trouble?
I can hear you, but a little bit disturbance is there.
Okay, I'll try to talk very slow
Yeah, please, you
and,
can carry. Uh,
and see if you can hear me better when I talk slower. My next question, your awards and recognitions you've had over the years of your writing, have they challenged or your perception, your self-perception as a poet, or have they encouraged you to continue writing more, or have they maybe do they confirm your abilities for you, or do you really think you need that recognition to continue writing?
Sorry, I cannot hear.
Well, I guess well, I'll see if I'll talk and see when you can hear me. Just let me know. I guess there's a network problem on your end because it's not on my end. I'm trying to talk as slow as possible. What I'm asking is when you have the awards you've received from the government or from institutions, do you feel that they confirm your abilities, or do you feel that you don't necessarily need that kind of recognition to write or to continue writing?
Yeah, there is no need of any recognition or any award as far as my feelings are concerned.
Okay.
If I want to write something, I'll keep writing, whatever it is. Whether it is love poetry or on any social issues, I'll keep writing. But when a writer or someone gets recognition or award, it motivates. If I get
Mm-hmm.
any recognition or award, it motivates me to write more or further, or keep on doing something in my writing. But if I don't get it, it will not stop me to write anything. So if I get, that's good. I feel happy. I feel honored. But that will not stop me if I don't get.
I think writers are motivated more by the joy of writing and expressing themselves more so than they are by some little award or a compensation of some kind from a institution or the government. Do you have any insight on what motivates you personally to write poetry?
What motivates me to write poetry is everything. It's in my DNA, I can say. The writing itself, fancying my feelings, not only my feelings. I feel
Mhm.
I have an urge to write something that comes to me effortlessly. I don't put any force to write anything. The
Mhm.
thoughts come effortlessly. I feel like writing something that then only I write. This social media, I came to social media very later. I started sharing my poetry on social media after a lot of time.
Mhm.
So, but I have this habit of writing. I have the making collections of my feelings is my own.
Mhm.
And awards, the best awards for a writer or any person is their stakeholders, I can say. My awards is my readers.
Mm.
If someone reads and if someone appreciates my poetry, so I feel more motivated than the than any award or recognition.
Definitely, the readership of for a poet is enough compensation, I think, for the writing, because you're communicating something, and you want people to appreciate it. But the award itself, I mean, getting an award or being recognized in that doesn't necessarily mean you have readers. It just you've got somebody's attention, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have a wide readership. I'm curious, what are some of your favorite contemporary Indian poets?
Contemporary Indian poets.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly read British poetry and American poetry,
Mm-hmm.
and I read classical poets like Rabindranath Tagore and Kalidas, and translations of Kalidas Sanskrit original poetry, Rabindranath Tagore and all. In contemporary poetry, there are many I read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And anything else you asked me?
Do you read in Sanskrit?
No, no, I don't read Sanskrit. I read the translations of Sanskrit.
Okay. So, how did you develop an interest in social sciences? That seems to be another concern, as you mentioned in your bio. Do you remember what sparked your interest in that subject?
Which subject? Psychology.
The social sciences in general. Yes, psychology is definitely one of the social sciences.
Actually, in my PG, we have varied syllabus. We had varied topics in that. So when we went to syllabus in my graduation, so I thought to explore everything. I had an introduction or an essence or extract of these things like psychology and philosophy. So I have some kind of urge to explore all those topics. So whatever goes from my eyes, I can say that if something interesting goes from my eyes, I feel to explore that particular thing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't confine myself to that the limited knowledge whatever comes to my eyes. I just want to explore that thing. So in this way, something comes and I keep on exploring the themes or topics or subjects, I can say.
Does your interest in psychology and philosophy and those subjects do you ever write about those subjects in your poetry?
No, I did not. Philosophy I write, but psychology I did not write anything on psychology. Philosophy
Mm-hmm.
of life, philosophy of love, you can say, or we have our own philosophy. What we think, that is our philosophy. What is my point of view regarding life? What is my point of view regarding love? What is my point of view regarding any issue? I think that is my philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So I read according to my, you can say, according to my thought process. Yeah, I have written a few poems on philosophy.
Mm-hmm. So, what are your thoughts on love that you put into your poetry?
What my thoughts on love?
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts on love is like love is a very vast word. It is not confined to anything or anyone. It has it is a divine thing. Love for me is very much divine. With something or someone, when you are love in what when with someone or something, it means that you are transcendental. You don't require to get the love back, or you don't require to get the thing with which you are in love. So love is very much divine and a spiritual thing for me. It doesn't have to do anything with the physical matter. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, of course, physical attraction also matters, but it does not stop. It is a very much divine and spiritual thing for me. Love. That is why I like. That is why I write love poetry. Being a beloved who is away, who is very much away from the lover. The beloved is always in search of the lover. The beloved is the poet is wandering somewhere or the other on the mountains and here and there in wilderness. This type of poetry you can find whenever you go through my poems. You will find that the poet itself, the poet herself, is very much cherished with the love she feels for someone. She doesn't need to the she doesn't need the person to be
Mhm.
with her.
Hmm. Are you familiar with the poet Rumi?
Yeah, sorry.
Do you read the poet Rumi? Rumi, the poet?
I feel myself as a poet.
Hmm.
The poet itself feels, the poet herself feels like as a beloved. I feel myself as a beloved, and I keep on roaming in in the search of the love.
Wonderful. We're going to take a brief break and return with a couple of poems that you can read for us. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you just after the break. We'll come right back.
They often wonder aloud, can't we go back to the good old days when protesters were like Martin Luther King Jr., peaceful?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
We answer, have you forgotten he was murdered as well?
What so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming.
Hoses, dogs, batons beat faces and heads, causing blood to spill.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Jail cells moaned for relief as they were filled past capacity with black men in three-piece suits.
o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
Bridges blocked on a bloody Sunday.
and the rockets rattling, the bombs bursting in
A
air.
church firebombed, flames dispatching 4 innocent little black girls off to see heaven's gates.
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still
Volunteer
there.
voter registrars shot in their car as peaceful protesters were found dead on the side of a dimly lit road.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Young black men sent to fight and die in war, yet here sharing lunch counters with whites was against the law.
Or the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Were those really the good old days?
Hi, this is the most amazing collection I have read so far. I'm a readingaholic. Dustin Pickering, you know me from Parrot Literary Corner. This is the Literary Parrot, available at Amazon.com and its various affiliates. If you have not seen this collection, it's 249 pages of glorious global literature in a contemporary vein. This covers a lot of subjects from the coronavirus to violence on the streets to love, to romance. Everything you can imagine is in this collection, and you should buy it now. I'll tell you why. It's a collection of unique voices from the Literary Parrot. People have been on our show. have been participated in this or have been published on our website, newyorkparrot.com. So please, I implore you, buy a copy. Thank you, and
Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Hi, and we're back with Parrot's Literary Corner. I hope you enjoyed that piece by Dayon Hunter. A wonderful spoken word performance. Today we have Naheed Akhtar, and she is going to read a couple of her fantastic poems for us. So please feel free to share when you're prepared, Naheed.
Yeah.
And I want to remind our viewers we're live and we have the ability to put your comments up.
First,
go ahead. Go ahead. Seems to be a little bit of a connection issue.
I'm a lover of monkeys. Okay. So first poem I'm going to read. I have written on a similar topic of
I think we have some issues with connection on our program. So I just want to say this is one issue we have with the COVID crisis and internet. It's hard to communicate through the internet. It's a great tool, but it's very difficult. Sometimes there's these kinds of problems. When you're face to face with someone, the worst that could happen is you get into an argument and you part ways for a little while and you come right back to each other. I'm sure with the internet, it's very hard to keep connectivity. And so we seem to have lost her through the issues with the network problems that we're having. So if she's still there, do we still have her on, or is she just having issues with her sound? Or what do we know with Naheed? What is she still available to talk on the program, to answer questions? Seems we have lost her from off completely, which is very unfortunate. I really wanted to hear her wonderful poetry. We did get a little talk in, so that's an excellent plus. And we did get to interview her for a little while. And Naheed Akhtar, when you do see this program, thank you so much for joining us. Was wonderful talking with you. And even though there was some issues with the sound on your end, I enjoyed the conversation. It was really pleasant. And so I think what we'll do is we'll just take another brief break. Oh, look, she's back. There we are.
Sorry. I have a lot of internet issues. Extremely sorry.
Quite okay. Quite okay. You can start reading that poem again from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Yeah. The title of the poem is Keatsian Love. I fell in love, Keatsian, impassioned, roamed in river fanciful, imagining the farthest, a rebellion against destiny, singing songs rhythmic, galaxies lucent of solicitations, dressed in wilderness, blissful hushed carpet over the heart, melted in sorrows undisturbed, wherein it finds none but the beloved herself. So this is the end of my first poem. Next poem I am going to recite is Paradox. poem I'm going to say is Paradox. Alas, what a paradox it is! A relentless sense of existence, perpetually found in its emptiness, creates an atmosphere in the ways, surrounded all over to embrace, though absent is the trace. How captive is the power unseen that captures entirety with its might, exceeding holds as of a night, who governs in bulk his revered queen, with the spirit sustained and holy, never to let get lonely. The waves of the the waves of the touches unhappen, float around with a soft pace, like the sea swirl with grace, and merge in the oceans overtaken, which with the time grows longer, and gushing constantly they conquer. There is even seen here some light along the numerous forces around, dwelling from the sky to the ground, where it extends its ranges despite the darkness spread over the outward, from the remnants housed inward, the magnetic orbs fallen from up, unfurled hues weakening Earth's gravity, though condensed she falls into incapacity, as if she is emptying her filled cup, and she could neither preserve the showers, nor could she gather her own powers. End of the second poem. I read my third poem.
Okay.
Title is
I think we lost you on the sound again. Give it a couple of seconds and see if we can
Can I
hear you.
read another poem?
Yes, yes.
The title of the poem is I Dreamt a Dream at the Dawn. Do I need to recall them? No, never. Since they go on, those moments fled. Just as happening right now, right here. They all together got rooted in my head. I found therein it was me, only me. In the meantime, with you, for I alike probably a canvas with the colorful hue, light beside looking at an eye in your face that has faced it upside. Fain, you solemnly focused on mine, non-stop and nonsense stride of the questions asked one after the other in a row, like a happy kid does for a train or for a helicopter when gets to love what never he did. I ever remember it was the arm, right, on which I rested my cheek, pleased with the unleashing charm of your brightened eyes, glaring streak, and how gladly I have captured all those short but cherished whiles. Within I felt no sense of being parted, and even those high-spirited smiles, dreamt in the last portion of the night, the dream all say surely comes true, seen just before the dawn's rising light, becomes part for never to bid adieu.
Thank you. I'm curious, you use a lot of captor and captive imagery in the poems. Do you know why you do that? Is that part of your philosophy of love? That there's a sense of, I don't know, longing and struggle between lovers or between people in love?
Yes, yes. I always feel like a, a, a strange kind of longing for something unseen, unheard, unreachable. So
Mm-hmm.
I put all those things in my poetry. Whatever poems, basically, if you read, you'll find that kind of longing and lingering in them.
Wonderful. Excellent work. And thank you for sharing those poems with us. Do you have plans for a future collection of poetry?
Yeah, my future collection of poetry would be coming soon. I have given its title The Morphine. Again, I can say that the beloved is in the intoxication of the love she feels. So I have explored what kind of drug a love can provide to someone. So the morphine in this poetry collection, all are romantic poems. You can say love plus romantic poem. In my other collections of poetry, the ending will be sad.
Mm-hmm.
In all the poetry, the ending part, the ending stanzas will be very much sad, melancholic stanzas. But in this particular collection of poem, the morphine, it is not like that. The poet is cherishing the togetherness with the lover, I guess.
Hmm. So you're still writing, and you have plans for a book called Morphine, and that I hope. Do you have any idea when that book will be released?
uh, this book would be releasing in next month, I guess.
Okay,
because
wonderful.
of because of this pandemic and lockdown and all, everything has slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
That is why the publishers are also in some sort of difficulties. They are not works, so that is why it is getting delayed.
Right. Who is the publisher for the book?
The events pub the
Okay.
events pub publishing house,
Do you know where
who
they're
is
based?
the publisher of the second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I was asking what country is the publisher based in?
India.
Okay,
He's from India itself.
wonderful. So, do you have any final words to share with our viewers? Words of advice or encouragement? Anything like that you would like to say to the viewers right now?
My message to everyone is like, uh, do things whatever you feel to do. Like poetry is all about feeling. There is a poet and writer hidden in everyone. If we feel like writing, we can write. And if we want to write, if I have to give message to any poet or writer, I'll say that we must write whenever we feel like writing. It is not like it is never a force. A
Mhm.
force can never make a good writing. If we feel like writing, then only we should write. And we must have command over language in whatever language we are writing. And it must be very much lucid in tone. And we must add some rhythm and some poetic tone to it. That's it.
Excellent. So, is there anybody you would like to thank? Friends, family, readers that frequently comment on your work that you would like to give a shout out to or say thank you to? seems that we have lost Naheed again. This has been the oh, sorry, you're there?
And I'm a little bit apologetic also because the network issues from my end. I think there is a lot of disturbance.
It's okay. We had a good interview. Looks like we lost you completely there. So we had Naheed Akhtar today from India, and it was a wonderful discussion. Thank you so much, Naheed, for joining us today. This is the Parrot Literary Corner. And if you would like to donate, we would really appreciate that. We need some money for tools and for future literary endeavors. You can support us through paypal.me/nyparrot. You see at the banner there, that's where you would send any extra donation you would like to send. If you would like to be a guest on the program, we'd love to have you. That would be, you could reach me, Dustin Pickering, at literarycorner@newyorkparrot.com. Just address me, Dustin, and I will be in response to you as soon as possible, and we'll schedule a date. If you have a spoken word performance you'd like to share on the program or music, you would reach us at the same place, literarycorner@newyorkparrot.com. And I appreciate all our viewers out there. We want you to subscribe to our channel. So blink, blank, blank, hit that subscribe button and leave some comments during the program. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Any questions you may have for the guest during the program, just feel free, speak up. We want to hear from you. So thank you so much, Naheed. Thank our viewers. And this has been an excellent afternoon with the New York Parrot Literary Corner. I'm Dustin Pickering. Have a wonderful day. Get writing.
3 seemingly simple words are changing the course of history and driving protesters into the streets. Three seemingly simple words are changing the course of history and driving protesters into the streets. I can't breathe. I can't breathe has been the final cry of too many of my brothers and sisters. And I can't breathe because their lack of oxygen is either caused by the boot on their neck or the stranglehold society has on the truth surrounding all of the positive impacts African Americans have had on all aspects of American history.
The Literary Corner, brought to you by New York Parrot TV.